everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Friday, and that means that it's almost Saturday. But today, we're doing something fabulous. We're doing something with a good friend of mine, John, who I love and have known for many a year. He has been the bane of my existence for better than a decade. So I tricked him into coming here so I can destroy him in front of all of you.
Yay.
Now, no, John is fabulous, and I love him. I love you, John. And today he's going to be sharing fabulous things about Malaysia with us, and we're going to be creating an amazing one-shot adventure based on that. First, though, I would like to thank our fabulous sponsor today, who is sponsoring the art in John's book, and that is Hero Forge. We love Hero Forge. If you want to level up your character art and you have no capacity with visual arts like me, then Hero Forge allows you to take what's in your head and actually put it down into the world. You get to put it in 3 dimensions into the world. It is absolutely amazing. And thank you for sponsoring us today. Everybody, go head to Hero Forge, support them. They are phenomenal supporters of the community. Go get you some minis, go make some fabulous characters, and let your ridiculous fabulousness come to life. And with that, hey, who the hell are you? Who are you?
Well, I'm the aforementioned John. I don't know. What do you want to know about me?
I want to know, well, let's talk about where can people find you on the intranets if they have questions about the story, or if they want to talk to you about decolonization, or if they want to curse you in some way, Yeah,
well, you can find me at BurnJonJonBurn on Twitter and Instagram. The rest of my socials, I believe, are private. I'm on various Discord servers. So, yeah.
Including the Planet Ally server.
You can find me and DM me there. I won't say no. And then you can find me also just around town in Manhattan. This is where I typically is my stomping ground these days. I'm in Harlem, Manhattan.
Yay for New York City. That's right for East Coast streamers. Everybody thinks that everybody's on the West Coast. They are not.
I mean, there's a lot of y'all on the West Coast. That's really amusing.
Yeah, no, there are, but we are making strides here on the East Coast too. Well, thank you for being here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So I first want to know, what the hell are we going to be talking about today? What is going on?
So I wanted to talk about one of Malaysia's national heroes, Hang Tuah, who is, I don't know.
Can you put that in chat?
Sure can.
I'm going to have difficulty with that name.
Yeah, it's, I'm trying to be traditional in the pronunciation because otherwise it sounds really weird to me.
And how do you pronounce that?
Hang Tuah.
Hang Tuah. All right. Fabulous. All right, I feel like I got it. All right, you'll have to remind me.
Of course, it's fine. I have gotten quite used to Western tongues on Eastern languages and how it's just not familiar. So I'm here for it. Happy to have some cultural sharing today.
All right, fabulous. So who is this?
So Hang Tuah, you know how England has Robin Hood and I don't know. That's the only example I could think of. But Hang Tuah is Malaysia's national hero. To the point where many schools have a Hang Tuah house, and he can do everything. He was the English term is an admiral basically, but he was a Laksmana, so he was a general, a military leader, and he came up from being a kid who had trained in fighting, and along with some of his peers who were Hang Jebat, Hang Nadir, Han Lakim, other. I should preface by saying Hang is an honorary title, so his name is just Tuah. Hang is the honorable, basically.
Oh.
Yeah, so Tua grew up with his sort of bosom
So
friends.
now, so question. So
Yeah,
Hung, that is that honorable, an honorable like Mr., or is it honorable like a rank? Like it's, like,
it's a rank.
okay.
Uh, yeah, so, and it's because he was sort of like one of the preeminent masters and one of the greatest silat users in sort of history. Pencak silat, which is the fighting style of Malaysia and Indonesia.
Ooh, what style was it?
Silat
It-
is the
well, I
style.
mean, but is it like a hard style? Is it a soft style? Is it
So
like a Tai Chi, or is it like a karate?
it's a hard style, and it's so I mean, if we do some martial arts dramaturgy, I believe that all martial arts stem from Kalaripayattu, which is like the Indian original
Yeah.
OG martial art. And depending on where Kalaripayattu went, it developed into various systems. So in that sort of Malay peninsula, you have silat, which is specifically a jungle fighting style to make use of terrain. It's a lot of low stances, a lot of there's some acrobatics to it. Not a lot of like flashy acrobatics. It's very practical and it makes very excellent use of the musculature you do have in order to be efficient. Uh,
So it focuses on efficiency.
yeah, there are weapons like you may have seen like the karambit, the little talon knife.
Uh-huh.
That's a very common silat weapon. We use sticks like arnis as well. And any sort of weapons can be used in the system, but it is primarily an unarmed fighting style designed to fight against armed opponents.
Ooh.
So you can see movies like I think what was it, Iko Awe in like The Raid and the like. He's a very much popularized silat in the modern sort of cinema world right now.
Ooh, I love it. Does it focus on disarming?
No, it focuses on killing.
Okay, then there you go. All right.
Now, silat is
I'm
a
getting past the weapon to the person.
and destroying them with it's a very very pragmatic and practical martial art. There's a
See,
lot
I
of disarms.
appreciate that.
Yeah, there's a lot of disarms because it's like okay, if they have a weapon, you disarm them, and if they have a weapon, you kill them.
Yeah.
You destroy them basically. But in the least movement possible required on your part. So it is about smooth efficiency. Again, it's about effective use of your musculature and how to strike, where to strike, and how to very quickly defeat your opponent.
I like it. I'm here for it. There's speaking of delightful things, yes, Phantom just entered the raffle. Everybody else, hey, hit
Oh, I want to enter the raffle.
Do it. Do it.
I'm
Get
entering
dice,
the
you
raffle.
friggin' goblin.
I
Yeah.
love dice. I love dice.
And Phoenix Dice has amazing dice. Have you heard our Phoenix Dice spiel?
No, please.
Phoenix Dice makes all of their dice from recycled materials because they love the world we live in just as much as all the worlds we play in. That's right. And when you win
delivered.
dice,
I even felt your actor voice. I could feel you using your diaphragm.
that's right. We're going to speak from the diaphragm. We're going to project at the little metal object that I am in front of.
That's our saying today. We project from the diaphragm for the diaphragm. There we go. Done.
It's the diaphragm.
Roll d6 of fram.
Absolutely. So, yes, and for those of you who have joined us, I would like to point down to the bottom of the screen. You will see our goal for fundraising for May. We are starting today. Tomorrow we're doing a 12-hour stream. We are starting the fundraising today. We are, because Hero Forge is so amazing, they have already donated $300 to the fund to help all of everything that is created for us is done by artists of color. So if you donate to the Ko-fi, it will in fact pop up right here on screen and you can see it rise. Yay! So feel free to donate there. Very excited about all of that. And you can just, let me see, Ko-fi. there, I'm going to do the right command. You can head over to the Ko-fi right this moment and sign up. If you believe in what we're doing, think about subscribing month to month so that you can just support every month. You can support new artists of color and new people. It is absolutely fabulous. And yes, so John, be aware, Mac has fabulous questions. Actually, there are a lot of people in chat that you will find throughout this that will be amazing, amazing sources of inspiration and questions.
Great.
So,
no, I love it. I love it. I'm trying to like split my focus between the two and also occasionally answer a work nonsense thing because I'm technically at work right now.
That's right. That's right. We're all technically at work right now.
I'm like dual jobsing.
So
it's
yes.
Like a little bit worse.
So tell me a little more about Hong Tua.
So yeah, so like Tua's story begins with like training in a hermitage under a renowned Silat master. And then, here's my last question. Less about himself. How would you say he is portrayed in a modern sense? I know some historical figures get a lot of attention entertainment-wise. Hang Tuah does not show up in a lot of modern stuff, especially in the West. Like, I feel like it's actually kind of a oral tradition. No, there have been like some movies about Hang Tuah, mostly in books. You can find like, I think the big one would be like the Hikayat Hang Tuah, which is like a collection of tales. Like it's all folklore, so a lot of it was oral tradition, and then some of it got written down. And I think if there are movies, like I haven't seen a lot of them. Like they've made a few. Like I want to say, what was it like?
Well, the fact that they haven't made a lot of movies, I feel like our mission today should be to create a fabulous adventure that is then going to be turned into like a campaign, which can then be written into a movie script, which will then be produced.
I see the long plan. I see the long plan now.
Yeah, okay. And the thing is that then you're going to compose and perform an astonishing like intro theme song for it, which will then get you the EGOT as the movie then gets turned into a TV show and a stage play.
And a Broadway adaptation. That's too much for me. I'm just happy to have it be a one-shot.
I'm sorry, if you don't want an EGOT with this, we're done. Why are we even here?
Right. I forgot our motto of go big or go fuck yourself. Fine, I'll EGOT with this.
That's right.
I don't know. I try to be humble, and then Kyle never lets me be humble.
Gross.
But yeah, so the Hang Tuah story began when he was training with I believe, oh god, I'm gonna butcher the name. It was like Adi Putera was the Silat master who lived in a hermitage. Adi Putera, and he and his like bosom friends and fellow students were Hang Jabat, who's very important in the stories. And then the sort of, not ancillary, but they're there a lot, are Hang Kasturi, Hang Lakir, and Hang Lakyu. And so all these friends, were all training Silat. And then like one day, in like the marketplace, there was a group of people running amok. And so amok is one of the few Malay words that actually have been borrowed into English. So in Malay, it's amok.
Is that where amok, running amok, comes from?
Mm-hmm. Amok is a Malay word.
I didn't
know that. So yeah, there were basically a bunch of men running amok in the marketplace. And like, I think it means like an episode of mass assault, I think is what it translates to.
Yeah.
So which is unfortunately still relevant today. And so basically a bunch of men were running amok in the marketplace. I want to say in the Malaysian countryside of the kampong, and there was like the constable named Tan Peruk, I think, or Tun Perak. What was it? Yeah, Tun Perak. And his constables came to investigate it, but many of them were attacked and they fled because of the sheer like savagery of the people who are running amok. And Tua and his friends who happened to be nearby stepped in and they saved Tun Perak. And because of their like ferocious fighting, they scared away the people who were running amok. And so he was presented to the Sultan, and his friends, and they were sort of granted the honorary title of Hung, and then they continued on into military service. And so, in some versions of the story, you can hear that Adi Butera was like, "You're not finished with your training. Don't go yet. Like you should stay and learn fully the arts of Silat." But in other stories, Dua was already like a master who had surpassed his master and was like sort of an esoteric one with the actual art form, with his body, and so. This is where, because there were so many different oral stories about Ua and this origin, there aren't anything like particularly, I don't think there's anything codified as like the canon story. And so that was one of the reasons why I thought it would be a good candidate for a magnificent mythology, because this would allow, basically, I don't know, maybe I was thinking too far ahead, but it's like one of the possible versions of this is the party starts off as the Tua gang, right? But there was another version of the story that I was more interested, or one of the later stories that I was more interested in was specifically the story of Hang Tua and Hang Jabat. Because they were like the best friends, I think they really exemplified like the back-to-back badasses trope.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, and like, this is probably sacrilegious for me to say, but I think they were in love, because,
Absolutely.
because
I'm 100%
it's
here for
illegal
the.
to be gay in Malaysia, right? It's illegal to be gay.
Yeah.
And so I think for the longest time, I think even now it's like, oh, they were brothers, they were comrades, they loved each other so fiercely as brothers. But I bring up the story of Amak because I think the story that most interests me is there was a time when the Sultan, like in one of the oral stories, the Sultan became very sort of jealous of Tua and his popularity with the people and his prowess, right? And then rumors began circulating that the Sultan's wife was having an affair with Tua. And so the Sultan was like, this is it. This is my chance to get rid of him. I'm going to sentence him to death. And the person who was supposed to put him to death actually hid him away and was like, we can't kill you. We don't want to kill you. So surrender your weapon, the legendary Chris, that wavy dagger, right? One of the many stories of where the Chris, who wielded the Chris, like, turn in your dagger, let me present it to the king because we know you'd never part with it, but let this be proof that you're dead and we'll hide you away. And Hang Jabat hears of this, and Jabat is like, oh my God, like, you killed Tua, who has been nothing but undyingly loyal to you.
Right.
Jabat, filled with rage, runs amok. He goes on a killing spree because his friend died. And at the indignity of his friend's death, which is why I'm like, friends, right? But it's like, they're such bosom companions that when he hears that Tua dies, Jabat goes on a killing spree and just like murdering his way to the palace. And Jabat was like the second best in the world by a slim margin to Tua. And so the official was like, shit, there's only one person who can stop Jabat, and that's Tua. So he gets Tua out of hiding to confront Jabat. And the two of them end up having a fight. And Jabat's like, I need to kill the king because he killed you. And Tua, even though he was sentenced to die due to the Sultan, right? He was like, no, I'm still a loyal subject of the Sultan. I have to stop you from killing him. And so one of the reasons that Tua becomes such a fascinating D&D character is because of this is, I think, a true exemplar of what it means to be lawful versus what it means to be good.
Yeah.
So because of his loyalty to the king, the one who sentenced him to die, he's still under oath. So he is like, I will protect the Sultan from my best friend. And after 7 days of fighting, Tua finally kills Jabat.
Oof.
So that was that's the story that I'm actually interested in pursuing with the magnificent mythology.
Absolutely. I mean, there's so much there. I mean, there's just so much in there.
And there are all manner of stories like originally I wanted to focus on the story of Hang Tua and the Rakshasa. But I was like, oh, maybe let's go here because like Rakshasa I think was covered in another one, and it is a little more like Indian mythology. From McBluff, Sultan, does Malaysia have any cultural ties to the Middle East, or is this another fascinating case of conventionally shared vernacular? Malaysia has a lot of ties to the Middle East, insofar as that Malaysia is a Muslim country. And so over the spread of Islam reached uh, Malaysia. And so there's a lot of shared words. I had an Iranian boyfriend who we talked about what our shared words between Persian and Malaysian were, like one of them being Amun, which is great. And so a lot of trade-based language, I think, was over there. And I think Sultan is and don't quote me on this, I'm pretty sure it was an ambiguation of Sultan, but I think that's a more modern placement on what they were originally called. I may be wrong on that, don't quote me.
So I have a couple of questions. First of all, what was the time frame that this supposedly took place in history?
15th century.
Oh, so the 1400s.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm trying to think, when was the golden age of the Middle East, when like Baghdad was the center of all knowledge in the world?
As a non-Swana person, I don't think I can tell you. I don't know, but I know that Islam reached Malaysia in the 12th century.
Okay, all right.
So I think the spread of Islam was because it was like it went through, but like there were Tamil Indian traders who I think brought it to via the mainland, because Malaysia is still attached to the mainland. I grew up on an island.
Is there any sort of like difference there between like mainland folk and island folk? Like, is there any sort of like rivalry?
I don't think there's a rivalry, no, because I grew up in Penang Island, right? And I think one of the most wonderful things about Penang, and I think a lot of Malaysian cities, is how multicultural they are. And so like my family is predominantly Chinese, but in Penang where we live, there's a huge Indian population, there's a huge Chinese population, there's a huge Malay population. So one of the things that I think Penang gets right is the cultural appreciation. I think each of the cultural identities has a really strong foothold there, but they all exist within a sense of harmony. Like it's like, oh, that's really cool, we'll borrow that. Oh, that's really cool, we'll like take that. But
hey, John, hold on one sec. You're getting a little fuzzy audio-wise for me.
1 second. How about now?
Much better, fabulous. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's all right. So I think Penang is a beautiful exemplar of multiculturalism, how all the different cultures can exist without trying to stomp each other out. And just it's peaceful coexistence from everything from like food to like architecture and everything. I think that's one of the most beautiful things about Malaysia.
Absolutely. There's so all right, so let me see if I've got this right. So if I have an understanding. So we start with if we're going to go through the life of, as far as what you have told me, so we start with training in a hermitage with a group of people who are all learning this fabulous martial art. They essentially get to test their martial arts in a real combat situation when they are protecting a town from people who are running amok. They get noticed by the military. They are honored for saving the town. They join the military service, gain great renown, come to the attention of the Sultan. They begin fighting as a duo. And as they do that, they gain even more renown. Sultan gets jealous, finds a reason to kill one. The other one goes nuts and tries to kill everyone in the palace, including the Sultan, for killing the man that he loves. And then because of his dedication to the Sultan, he's forced to fight his best friend and then kill him.
Yeah. And of note, in many of the stories, Jabat already has a wife and child by this point.
Okay.
Yeah, because right. I believe his child is carted away to Singapore and is raised there, I believe. So that's again one of the many legends. And again, it's because I think in Malaysia it is illegal to be gay. I think that is why that aspect of it is either suppressed or You know, because like I read it, a gay, and like that's pretty gay.
Yeah.
Um,
So one important question that I want to ask is because my impulse is to make them lovers in this
right.
thing. I want to make sure that I am not trying to throw my Western ideals onto another culture.
Right. And so I think I was thinking about how to approach this is that I think the implication can be there. Or I think if you talk, because one of the weaknesses of the Western world, I think, is that or as specifically in English, is that there's only one word for love.
Yeah.
Right. And so I want to focus on them being bonded, but not necessarily in a romantic relationship. I think the way to get away with this is say that's up to the players, or that's up to the DM, whoever runs it, because we can't control too many aspects of how people run games. Mm-hmm. And so just like, I think we focus on their bond and we let people decide on their own from there. But that way we're not dishonoring the sort of story or by placing an ideal on it, you know what I mean?
So my first impulse with all of this is to create a monk subclass. Actually, to create two. One for Tua is his name, right?
Yep.
And one for Jabat. Okay, fabulous. So there's one that focuses specifically on lawfulness and, you know, like utilizes that as the path, and the other one that focuses on passion and uses that as the path is my first impulse on that. We can certainly get more into that later on in the story. The first thing I think we need to figure out is, where do you actually want to start this? Do you want this to be, because there's a couple of ways that I could see this going, like where it's actually 3 sections of their life, so that it's like the actual, like the first act being training and then the combat in the square, the second portion of it being more of a role-playing situation, maybe where like the group is on a mission in the military with and then the final one being called, like being, I feel like maybe like the group being in the space with the two of them battling it out and having to choose which one they're going to help individually, so that they have that same sort of crisis that the two protagonists are having.
Yeah, I think that's what I was looking at specifically for the last bit. So like, it would be interesting if they began as like students of Dua or Jabat, right? Or I get to pick, like, do I follow the path of law or the path of passion, right? Path of duty, path of passion, and then like the facing the people who are running amok in the streets is great. And then I think I'm really interested in the sort of.
One sec.
Oh, sure.
There is I would like to thank the Raiders for coming in. Yay! Ooh. Welcome, Raiders. We are discussing fabulous Malaysian mythology, and we are just getting ready to jump in to writing a fabulous one-shot adventure based on it. Yay! Please, please, please make yourself at home. Feel free to ask any questions or give any suggestions that you would like. We love that. And speaking of, Mac has a question. Are there any symbols of bonds or connectivity in Malaysia? A bit cheesy, but like double jewelry, wherein each person has half of the full piece, either for friends or romantic partners.
Yeah, I was saying, I think you have the traditional religious iconography, depending if you're Christian or Muslim or Taoist, etc. But otherwise, I believe it is more personal than cultural.
Okay, fabulous.
Especially with the modernization, and I grew up in modern Malaysia, right? Where it's like, it could be anything from a ring pop to a slap bracelet, would count. So I think it's the same here. I think it's more about personal choice rather than there's a thing with cultural weight in that way. So like, I almost imagine like for Dua and Jabat. If we were to use D&D terms, it would be like rings that cast like warding bond, or something like that.
Oh, fun. Ooh, that would be very interesting. I feel like there's maybe, I wonder if we could do like some sort of spell, that's similar to like one of the cleric's bonding actions, but is more combat oriented instead of protection oriented,
Right, could be, and because I think one of the big themes of Dua stories is always camaraderie, is always, we accomplish things together. And so I think it is heartbreaking that Dua and Jabat wind up on opposite sides. And I think I would love for the end of the one shot to be the three options, right? You side with Dua, you side with Jabat, or you find a way to make them find peace.
Yeah.
And of course that one's the most difficult because you do have the Sultan who would likely encourage you to kill one or the other, specifically kill Jabat.
Well, I feel like the Sultan, in my mind, is going to try to deal with the immediate danger of somebody trying to murder them. So they're going to be egging Tua on to kill this person. But I don't imagine that somebody that would just try to find an excuse to murder someone out of jealousy would then give up on that goal. So I feel like even if you do defeat, I'm sorry, what was the name again?
Jabat or Dua?
Even if you do defeat Jabat, then the Sultan will demand Tua's death still.
Right. Or something to that effect. Yeah.
So I feel like the third, like the sort of hidden, you present it as there's only two options, that it's either Tua or Jabat, but the third sort of hidden option is taking out the Sultan. That this is the real evil in the situation, this power and this greed and this jealousy.
So the key phrase is taking out, because if you kill the Sultan, then Dua is honor bound to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what makes it very. So it is like it's like if you take the violent options, you have to kill either Jabat or Dua, right? Yeah. But I think the trick is not taking out the Sultan, but is finding a peaceful solution. So there's like in my head, it's like, and it's one of my favorite things to do in D&D, which is such a combat-based game, is to provide the secret peaceful option.
Yeah, we have done that several times here. I'm a huge fan of that. Hey, here's the perfect ending. You get all this stuff, all right, cool. I feel like that's a good place to jump in then. We'll do a 3-act thing that is the life as you and your crew go along with the two protagonists of the game. What I'm thinking right now is that there can be, that essentially there will be stat blocks for Tua and Jabat I want to say like you start your journey, and this will be very interesting, is if you start your journey at like level 1 and you end your journey at like level 15, and like the second act, like you level up between acts, and it's like you start at level 1, then you hit like level 9, and then act 3 you're level 15, and that way you're dealing with like two protagonists that are very powerful at that point. It shows how they've shifted and changed. How do we feel about that?
So that depends. It's like, is the party playing as Dua and Jabat, or their own party who is like?
So I'm thinking that they are their own party that is always with them. That this is this group, because they were identified together by the general. They've become a squad, essentially.
Right. So I think if we begin at level 1, they've just begun their training. In my head, it's under Dua or Jabat, doesn't matter, or both of them, at like academy, and then they distinguish themselves by the first encounter, which is the running amok.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
So that'll be the encounter for Act 1.
Yeah, so level 1, party of 4 or 5 would have to deal with, say, 5 or 6, like bandits, but who have rage.
Bandits who have rage.
Yeah,
Right.
rage bandits, my favorite.
These are not bandits who have joy. They are not. They are bandits who
Oh
have
man,
rage.
a joy barbarian would be a lot of fun though.
Oh, absolutely. I would love that. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. I love it. There's all right, so let's pop this up. Wait, you know what I'm thinking actually? I'm thinking that if we both know D&D very well and could probably level up a character very quickly, but
yeah, that's what I was saying. For usability, I think that might be difficult.
Yeah. Okay, there is then let's look at what level people should be at for this adventure.
Well, this is a great Oops All Monks adventure, right? And so I really feel like for some variation, I feel like it should start at level 3 so you could at least pick your subclass. You know, and because of the way the mythology I think is set up, you know, there is also option, like good options are also druids and clerics still, you know, so I feel like level 3 would be best. That way, if you are doing like a cleric or druid, you could still, you know, hit a subclass and dip somewhere else. You know what I mean? So I think 3 is the sweet spot for this.
So, all right, so we just want that first thing. We don't want to get that sort of. Do you want to do a situation where the party is all level 3 and the 2 leaders are either 6th level or 11th level so that they can get that tier of monk ability?
I want to say that the 2 leaders should be 11th level.
Okay.
Because if we're going to level the party up to, like, I think by Act 2, they'll be like, what, level 4, and then Act 3, they're level 5. I think a party of like 4 level 5s could easily take one of the level 11 people. You know what I mean?
Especially with the help of another level 11.
Yeah, I think even then they might be too powerful, actually. You know what I mean? So it's like whoever they side with, the person should use like a 15 stat block since they have a level 11 with them. Because, you know, these are legendary. Well, maybe not even, that's too much. So let's say level 11 for now. We can always tweak.
Fabulous. I love it. All right. Let's jump right over to our fabulous little document.
Yay.
I'm excited about it. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. All right, so if we are going to start, I'm going to jump down to chapter 1.
Mm-hmm.
And let's start with the party starts in the, is there a name for the hermitage?
No, I don't believe so, because I knew the name Arikutera and that was it.
See, I know the word hermitage because it is a world wonder in Civilization 6.
Oh, I see.
And it's a place, it is a religious space that also is a place where you put a lot of art. So there's...
I might be using the word incorrectly, as I have been known to do.
Well, I'm sorry, John, you're fired.
Midstream? Oh no.
Yeah, and,
oh no.
I really hate to do this to you, but I'm also, I am on the phone currently with the public theater.
What?
Yeah.
Don't be on the phone with the public, my God.
I have informed them that you are in fact
the worst
right now. Like
you have informed them that I am the worst.
Yeah, absolutely the worst. All right, so the party starts in the hermitage, and party starts in the hermitage, training with Tua and is it Jabat?
Jebat, yeah.
Jebat and Hangjabat. All right, starts in the hermitage, training with Hang Tua and Hangjabat. They are, all right, what is are training in the art of, what is the name of this monk style?
Well, I mean, so the actual style is Silat, but I wanted SILAT. But you know, because it's D&D, we want to give them the chance to be whatever subclass they want.
What's the translation of the word Sealot?
What is the translation of the word Sealot?
Yeah, because I'm wondering if there is like some sort of play on that translation that we could use to create the new subclass.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if Sealot has a translation. Because I think the word
fabulous, is damn it.
Yeah, because I think Sealot means Sealot. Yeah, I was like, I'm like racking my brain. I'm like, I don't think there's a, because it's like, if I think about it, I'm like, I know it's from Malacca. Maybe it's from like the Arabic word sila, which means weapon, but I'm not sure.
Oh, that would be very interesting.
I mean, let's again, Tua uses the Chris, and that's what Jabat is using when he's running amok, which is like legendary artifact sort of status. So that's probably why the level 11 can, be much more powerful because it's got the Chris. But then, like, I don't know, like I don't think there's an actual translation for the word Silat. I think it's just Silat.
I feel like it could absolutely be, the way of efficient death.
I mean, that's just kind of like shade to way of long death, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, so I don't know, because like it is a hard style. So short death? Like, I know, right? Like, because I always think of, I know it's a different system, but you think about Baji, the 8 Extremes Fist, and their famous quote, "There is no need for a second strike," right? Which is just one of the most badass boasts I think ever. I don't know, because it is, again, it's a jungle fighting style, specific, like it's an indigenous jungle fighting style. So, like, what was it like? I feel like one of the legends was like a woman saw a hawk and a tiger fighting, and she was like, "Oh, I want to fight like that."
Oh, could it be the way of the talon and claw?
I'm down for that.
Okay, fabulous.
The way of claw and talon.
Meaning in the way of claw and talon.
Now I gotta add this to my homebrew subclasses.
That's right. There's oh my God, I still owe you a look at those.
Oh, it's fine. The one I'm most proud of is I fixed the way of the elements monk.
Oh, good. Oh, thank God.
Because like, it's really funny to see like, and I think it's not the fault of Avatar, but it's like in a lot of Asian systems, we don't use the classical 4 elements, we use 5 elements. And so I tried to rework it to encapsulate the 5 elements rather than the 4.
Okay, I feel like one of the abilities in the way of claw and talon needs to be like a peregrine strike, which would be, peregrines are like the fastest creatures on Earth because when they dive, they are so astonishingly quick. Something where it's like, for every 10 feet that you move, like you can do a charge attack where you can finish your attack with a single, and I would say like a single stunning strike. Like you can spend a key point, like do a single strike with a stunning strike thing with a stunning strike addition, and every 10 feet that you go, you do like an extra 1d8 damage.
Gotcha. I think because stunning strike is already a key option at level 5, I believe. I feel like, what if we were to take from like the actual tiger stat block, right? And it's like, don't they have a pounce where it's like if they move 20 feet before they attack, the opponent has to make a strength save or be knocked prone? So I think in lieu of spending a key point, which is like, I think is if you move 20 feet before taking the attack action, the tiger has to, or the up target has to make a strength save.
In order to get to this whole like you don't need a second strike thing,
Well, I mean, that's Baji. That's something entirely different.
Yeah, no. I get it, but I love that. I love that concept for this. Like, just the most efficient way to kill somebody. You know, like that's sort of what I'm focusing on for this. It's just how do you do that? And the most efficient way is to make sure that there is no way for them to strike back. You know, and
so it's like it also removes reactions. You think?
Well, what I'm thinking is if at like 6th level you get the Tiger Strike, where we don't just give you the pounce, we also give you the rake from 3.5.
Oh.
Where you can make, because you now have 2 attacks.
Mm-hmm.
So that way you can, if you hit with each hand, you can then do an additional attack where you actually do rake damage for that. I think then at 11th level, what you can do to amplify that is use the peregrine form, where it is for every 10 feet that you do travel in order to get them, it amplifies the attack. So you can use a key point to dash, get like this crazy running start from across the battlefield, and then launch yourself at this person, knocking them prone, attacking them twice, and ripping out their chest, essentially. Like, I think that would be amazing.
Yeah, I was like, how does that? I'm trying to think of how to port Rake into 5e when monks can already do a bonus action attack, right?
So what I think the best way to do it would be to say that you get essentially a free flurry of blows if you land both of your initial attacks, because that would do about the same amount of damage as a rake attack.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you don't have to spend the key point.
The extra key point. I'm here for that. So yeah. So if you land both of your attacks, so this is the level 6 ability. If you land both of your extra attacks, you then basically get a free flurry. You don't have to spend a key point on your next flurry of blows. And so I think one of the 3rd level abilities when you choose the subclass then is that you call it like Tiger Claws, which is great. And then it's you can choose to do slashing instead of bludgeoning damage with your unarmed strikes. And that sort of gets the claw and the talon feel to it.
Slashing damage instead of bludgeoning. I feel like it would need like one thing to give it a little oomph.
Oh yeah, that's one of the you can have multiple things at 2nd or 3rd level when you choose the subclass.
And then 6th level would be Tiger Pounce.
Which gets you that free flurry of blows, which is always cool because monks love conserving key points.
Yep. Free flurry of blows if you move 20 feet to a target
and land both attacks.
And then let's see, then we have got and then we will do at 11th level, we have got Peregrine Strike.
I feel like it should be 17th level. I think that should be an Apex ability. Because monks already have so much movement, right? You potentially have like 55 feet of movement. So if you say, for every 10 feet of movement you make before you hit your target, for every 10 feet of movement you take before hitting the target, you gain an additional 1d8, or you gain an additional martial arts die on the first attack.
Oh, yeah, that's lovely.
And then you go back to 3rd level and you say, hey, your movement no longer provokes attacks of opportunity.
Nice.
So that's that's become some of the for 3rd level.
What I would say at 3rd level is move. When you move at least 10 feet in a round, you avoid the first attack of opportunity. Against you. each round. And then at 6th level, that expands. So it then is for every 10 feet of movement, you avoid 1 attack of opportunity. And then that way it'll feed directly into that, so you can literally run through an entire battlefield.
Yeah.
And that way, that's not how you spell movement. That's not how you spell it, John.
I don't spell. I'm goddamn illiterate.
Oh, damn it. Maybe this isn't the stream for you, John.
It never has been. You keep dragging me into this stream. You're like, make a character, play this game. I don't know how to read, and you make me do all these things. You're so mean to me.
I am, and it makes my heart sing. Right,
so mean. Hey, if you're on the stream, tell Kyle to stop being mean to me.
That's right, you guys. Let me know. Bully says the Silat martial art is officially called Pencak.
Pencak.
Okay.
Yeah, Pencak Silat or Silat Melayu, Siat. Yeah. Yeah, I think I said Pencak Silat earlier on in the stream, but we say Silat for short, please.
Oh, fabulous. I love it. There is Rama Sukana, who witnessed the fight between the tiger and the large hawk. By using the animal's movements, she was able to fend off the group of drunken men that attacked her. I'm here. I am 100% here for somebody fighting off a group of drunken men. 100%. The anime trope where you barely move your sword and the guy just sprays blood everywhere. Absolutely.
One day I'll be able to do that.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you already can if you want to, if you have the right
Don't
sword.
tell anyone. I'm
sorry. No.
Yeah, I hope I can do that one day, Wink.
Meant before an attack. All right, so how many martial arts die? Because I honestly, I don't play monks a whole lot. So martial arts die in 5e. Does that just gives you extra damage based on the damage? Okay.
Yeah, so I believe it should be 1d10 at that point. So that's why I think it's Apex ability, right?
Yeah, so I think so. So for every 10 feet of movement before an attack, you may add 1 martial arts die to the damage.
Of the first attack, I think. Otherwise, that's bonkers.
Yes. Thank you.
And I feel like there should also be a limit. Because they're probably going to want to use a key point to dash to get up this thing, I would say you can use this like equal to your wisdom modifier numbers per long rest.
Oh, so a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier, not the amount of distance equal to your...
No. So the distance is still there because monks already have increased movement speed. And so I think in lieu of spending key points for this one, because they're going to want to spend a key point to dash to build up that extra damage anyways, I would say make this a limited use ability and say you can use this equal to a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier, minimum of 1. I think is the language that D&D typically uses.
Wisdom modifier, minimum 1.
Recharging on a long rest.
Recharges on a... Do you want to make it a rest, or do you want to make it a daily thing? Like, is there
I think
a
most of them
like on that you have to do to recharge it?
Not for Silat, no. And so I think this is just per long rest. Because very few of the subclasses operate on a dawn mechanic. Especially because, there are planes where dawn might not happen.
Ooh, that's true. Yes. And the thing that I love about this Peregrine Strike is that, like, if you are fighting a very powerful creature that, like, can teleport or something, they can just teleport right behind you, and then, like, you never get to use this feature unless you run away from them and then run back.
Which is why, if you take the mobile feat and you hop them once and then disengage, you get that free disengage, Like just trying to see like, because it's a very powerful ability with situational use.
Yeah.
And so just trying to make sure that there are ways where it can be used, but also trying to avoid ways that can be abused, which is typically how.
11th level. So we've got, you can do slashing damage, you can avoid attacks of opportunity, which allows you to get in there and do things and avoid the weapons, which is exactly what this martial art is designed to do. There's it allows you, there's a lot of movement based stuff. I feel like I want to give them something, because there are disarming and it's very like, the style is based on disarming and efficiently dispatching your enemies.
So I was going to say, you can, as a bonus action, you can spend a key point and do a, I guess, dex contest, since monks are so dex-based. Dex or strength contest against the opponent's strength or dex to disarm them of their weapon. And to take it from them.
Because we take their weapon,
Yeah, and that's what separates it from the Battle Master Fighter, which has disarming, which knocks it to the ground. This would be to actually take it from them.
Let's see. Okay, as a bonus action, you may spend a key point to attempt a contested. I'm going to say, because most people martial arts they're a strength-based thing, right? Not a dexterity-based attack.
Yeah, I would say this would be a strength-based one.
Contested.
Personally.
Strength. A contested strength check. If you succeed, you automatically disarm your opponent and may use their weapon yourself. I want to add something here. If you have watched this weapon being used, if you have successfully, here it is. If you've successfully avoided an opportunity attack from this weapon.
Actually, you know what? We can simplify this. We can say if an attack misses you, you can use your reaction to spend a key point to attempt to disarm.
I love that.
That way we can sort of more elegantly say like, hey, it's a reaction regardless of where the attack comes from. And then it also pairs well with the monk's already ability to like catch missiles, deflect missiles.
I love it. So you can not just deflect missiles, you can deflect melee attacks now.
Yeah, or you can disarm them as a reaction, but it is a key point thing.
If you succeed automatically, you automatically disarm your opponent and may use their weapon yourself. I wanted it to be a situation where to hop into their avoiding attacks of opportunity. So you have once you've successfully avoided an attack of opportunity from this weapon, you can use it with proficiency, even if you don't have proficiency with that weapon, because you've seen how it is supposed to work.
Yeah, so if you've been, because monks already have access to all simple weapons and short swords. So yeah, I wonder.
Well, I'm just thinking if like you are going after somebody who's got a great sword or something like that, or a martial weapon of some kind, it would allow you to wield it effectively. And especially at higher levels, if there are very specific, like I'm thinking, if you're going after like a Balrog or something that has like a giant flaming whip, and you can disarm it and then use it against him,
That's the thing, is like, on the one hand, I think it's really cool. On the other hand, I think it has the potential to be overpowered.
Okay, all right. I guess we can leave it off, John. Hurts my feelings.
I know. I'm sorry. I love hurt your feelings.
Oh, God. Yes, but okay, I think we've got a fabulous class there. This is a monk who's designed to run around the battlefield and just murder people. Just do the murders.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Now, we have got anything going on in chat? All right, so everyone's still Camp John John, so
Yay.
good Hanya. All right, so back to the story. They are training in the way of claw and talon.
Mm-hmm.
This allow the players the opportunity to spar with each other, to encourage Tua and Jabat to help them gain insight into their forms and attacks. Fabulous. Next, how long do we want to give them to? Do we want to give them like a ceremony or something, or should this be like the battle erupts?
I feel like it's like if they go into town or whatever, then I think it erupts because amok just happens. People run amok, right?
Yeah. I'm just thinking of like timing. Should there be? Is this like a graduation ceremony, or is this just like this group has been sent into town to go and procure like food for the hermitage that day?
Yeah,
like,
I think it's the chores.
Yeah. All right. When the players have enjoyed their sparring enough, they will be sent into town with Tua and Jabat to gather the necessities for the evening. This may include food, water, flowers, or anything else that you wish to include. When they arrive in the town, allow them a moment to separate, if they so choose, before starting the encounter with the. And who are they that have run amok?
It was, I believe, so in the folktales I have heard, it is typically just people who are dissatisfied with their lot in the kingdom who ran amok. Who were like, we're running amok because we don't have enough food, we don't have enough, it's anything I think we need it to be here. I think the origin of the people who are running amok is flexible. And so in this case, I wonder if it would be people who are dissatisfied with the Sultan's reign.
So if that's where we're heading with that, I'm curious whether we should. Is this hermitage funded by the government? Is that why they have access to food?
If Jabat and Tua are there, then yeah, probably.
Okay. All right. So then, all right, fabulous. So that will tie. I think that'll start tying immediately things into the story. So is this? So is this an imperialistic situation in the country, where there's like classes and nobility and there's constant expansion, or is this more isolationist, or is it like neither of those extremes?
Neither of those extremes, really. I think we're still focusing at the level of kingdom. I hesitate to say imperial because it's not an empire.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a single kingdom, and people are dissatisfied with with what's going on. So the Sultan, I feel like we can very easily in this situation, like paint the Sultan as somebody who, especially if he is jealous and, you know, all this kind of stuff, is also a greedy Sultan that is not providing for his people.
And yeah, I think yes, because like I'm always in my personal practice trying not to make too much of like a straw man out of the Sultan here, right?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So like I don't want it immediately obvious that they're like, oh, we should, you know what I mean? We have the golden ending of like making peace between Tua and Javad, so I don't want it to be obvious. I want the Sultan to at least appear to, you know what I mean? I want the Sultan to at least appear to be reasonable, and they have to dig in order to figure out what that is. And so here, I think we can keep it as simple as the Sultan has treated us unfairly, which then, you know, most D&D parties will be like, well, let's capture one and interrogate one, you know what I mean? And so then that way, if they choose to actually subdue one rather than just killing them straight out, then they have the ability to access more information. You know, we petitioned for more grain and we didn't get any from the Sultan, and we're starving, you know?
But the people from the Hermitage are allowed because they are military combatants, and therefore like they are part of the sort of the people, the systems that the Sultan will support in order to support his own power.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think so. I think that works.
I'm trying to think like sort of that there's, you know, that while somebody is like saying like requesting food, the food vendor, oh, I like this. Somebody's coming in who is not of the military requesting food, and the food vendor says, no, I don't have any. And then these guys walk in and they're like, oh, you're from the Hermitage. Absolutely, here you go.
Right, I think something like that.
And that could absolutely spark the running amok.
Right.
You know? Okay. All right. That is all right.
But I think also part of it is like with the running amok, I think I don't want it to be so targeted at first, because that's not amok, right? I think amok is they are running around and destroying property and attacking anyone on sight. And I think that's the more spirit of amok. So if they start right next to the party, I am worried that all that aggression is focused on the party, or the party can too easily contain it right off the bat, if that makes sense.
Okay, well, so let's look at this. Let's look at this encounter then. I feel like in that situation, amok should be that they should be entering the town and amok is happening.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that makes a lot more sense.
And then at that point, what you can do is you can create several like people that need to be saved. Like you could have the grain merchant, you could have, you know, the you know, like the well tender, you know, like this, you know, this merchant over here, this, like we could pick 3 or 4 people that are being targeted by the people that are running amok that can tell that story of deprivation, you know. There's without being very super explicit about it. And then at that point, then the training of this comes into play, because then there are separate targets that you need to help, and you have to move all over the battlefield to do it.
Right. And I think that's a more dynamic and more interesting encounter, personally.
I agree. All
and
right.
then, you know, if you have healers, they also have things to do. Support casters have things to do.
Right. There is all right, so I'll get rid of this. This is why I like writing like this, with a living document that can be changed.
We love a living document.
Let's make the 2 waterfalls. Anything else you wish to present? When the party approaches the town, there is mayhem. How many attackers are there? If we are dealing with a 3rd level party right now.
Yeah, I want to say the number is equal to party plus 2.
Okay, fabulous. There is mayhem. There are a number of, and do we want to make them commoners or like a warrior stat block? like a CR1 type thing, or
if they're level 3, if the party is level 3, I think a commoner stat block would be too easy.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe like if they're CR, I mean CR is silly, but like it would be like a boosted guard basically, right?
okay.
Like, so how much, so let's use the monk as the baseline for this, right? So we'd say 8 plus con per level. So we probably want these guards to be, or these people, the people running amok, we want them to be, I think, around like 24 hit points.
Okay, so if you've got, let's say you've got a party of 4, that means 6, so you'll have 8 of them. Because if you count Hong Tua and Hong Jabat.
I don't think Tua and Jabat should be there. I think they should not be.
So this is just going to be the party. Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's party. So if it's a party of 4, you'll have 6 of these. So I think roughly 24 hit points, right?
All right, they will.
And if I'm working, yeah,
10.
I think 24 hit points. We want to say like.
6. So you want, so it'll be 6 people. So you want 3 hit dice apiece. You want 3 hit dice per attacker.
Roughly, yeah, and that's that's.
Let's use the knight stat block because that's an SRD stat block, so we don't need to worry about that.
Right. So we use knight, but we probably want to take away the armor, right?
Yeah. Let's see. So when the party approaches, there's mayhem. There are a number of attackers equal to the number of party members. Man, the knight is CR3, but it's got 52 hit points. Is that the SRD? Is that the we might want to pull that down a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say that might be a little like a single knight for the party might be fine, but like for a party of 4 with no magic items.
Could we do in that situation, then why don't we use the warrior stat block, because I think they've got 2 hit dice.
Let me take a look. See, warrior, monster. Keep finding class.
Yeah, there is in chat. If you have any suggestions about this, Clunch is saying, is there a CR2 monk? Pull their stats for.
Yeah, I was gonna say the first unfortunate one I found was tribal warrior, which I'm not sure I like.
Ooh, yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah, let's talk about decolonization in TTRPGs.
Yeah, shall we? Not everyone's a fucking tribe. Like, it's a culture, kids. Like,
I do have the very fancy Monsters of the Multiverse book. I know they have some very fun stuff in there regarding.
Well, now the issue is, John, that we are not going to be able to use anything from the monster manual that is not an SRD because we're going to.
Yeah. I'm just checking because they have things like champion. They have like the warlock subclasses back there, so maybe they have a monk. That's really what I'm looking for. Let's just throw an Illithid at them.
+2. The attackers are targeting, while you're looking that up, I'm gonna start filling this out. The attackers are targeting, who do you want them to target? I feel like the food seller needs to be one of them.
Food seller needs to be one of them. I don't think they have a monk one in Monsters of the Multiverse, sadly.
Master.
So, I mean, I know, the worst. I really do think we can just make it real quick. Right. I can even build it. If you give me editing access, I can just build a template in there real quick.
Oh, I think, do you not have editing access?
Let me request it, like a normal person.
Well, unacceptable. Let me see. Oh, you just requested it through email.
Yeah, hi Cotton Candy Unicorn 83. We are working on the Legend of Hang Tuah, which is a Malaysian folk hero.
Yay! We've already created a new monk subclass, which is super delightful, and it makes me very happy. And now we're going to make little monk people, little monk NPCs. Very nice.
I mean, I think someone mentioned thug, which I think we can use as a template and then just sort of maybe tweak that. Yeah, low AC, high hit points. I feel like we can change it so that they have probably a cudgel instead of a mace, but just have it be the mace damage. Multi-attack, and I think we changed pack tactics because they're not working as a pack to rage. So
They're
that
not,
they get
because it can't really work as a pack
not when you're running amok, no. So I think if we do pack tactics, if we replace pack tactics with rage, but not like a full barbarian rage, but like add +2 to damage, I think.
Yeah.
So they get just a damage boost. Guard elite 68 plus 12. Ooh, I don't know if 68 is what we want for level 3 party.
Right. Absolutely. And hey, everybody, remember, hit ! raffle if you want some fabulous dice today from Phoenix Dice. And we are starting we're going to be having our 12-hour stream tomorrow, where we're going to be playing a bunch of these magnificent mythologies that we wrote earlier with various fabulous BIPOC creators. And our goal this month is $1,200. So we will absolutely be doing that tomorrow. But if you'd like to help us get started today, you can absolutely donate. In addition to that, anything that we make over what is needed for the next month of Magnificent Mythologies, we are going to be donating to Uvalde. So if you want to help the victims of this horrific shooting, absolutely help us raise all of the money for them. And yes, on that lovely and upwards note, let's get back to writing a fabulous adventure. The attackers are targeting the food seller. Who else are they targeting?
I think because it's amok, I want to say it's targeting whoever is closest, right?
Well, the reason that I want to get specific is because then, depending on who they save, they can get rewards.
Oh, okay. So I think you want something like probably like a holy man.
Okay.
You know, some cleric, but not in terms of class cleric, but like a priest, another monk, some holy man,
the wandering priest.
A wandering priest, like if they want to get like a weapon or something, a blacksmith, a fisher, you know, I think any number of like people you would find in, Clunch, the brute ability from bugbears, and call it rage. I think brute is just fine. Yeah, so let's use that.
Absolutely.
So I'll just make do I have edit access yet? Do I need to reload?
You should.
There we go. I think I have it now. Great. Just gonna create a little stat block down here.
Fabulous. All right, so with food seller, like they have to get the food seller so that they can get food for the temple. There's the wandering priest who can provide them healing after the fight if they need it. The blacksmith, if they get it, they will have the ability to purchase weapons from the blacksmith afterwards to arm themselves.
Right.
And what's something else that they might, something special? Ooh, the alchemist. And then
that's a good one for potions and stuff. Yeah.
Rewarded with like maybe some like small healing potions. Blacksmith and the alchemist. So I think 4 targets is plenty. I increase the blacksmith and the alchemist. Each is a commoner with what's the max damage for these amok citizens?
So it looks like it's gonna be if we're using the bugbear combining it, so it would be I hate fonts. Rancho. All right, so it would be like mace would be 1d6 plus 1 technically, but then the brute ability says that when a melee weapon deals an extra damage dice, so it is basically doing 2d6 like like a maul.
Fabulous.
Which is fine there. And then if we're looking at Thug, I think we take away pack tactics.
Yes.
Because that's the nerf. And yeah, I think.
Okay, so if it's 7 damage, so 7 is their max damage.
Their max damage is technically 13 if they do
13.
2d6 plus 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I would like to give each commoner 18 hit points. Each of the targets 18 hit points, so that they can survive the initial attack even if the person does max damage.
Yeah, I'm really mean though. I think if they're regular commoners running around, they should just have the 4 hit points of a commoner. But the special commoners, like the ones that the alchemist, the blacksmith, etc., we can give them. Let's say if the max damage is 13, let's give them 13.
Oh my God. Okay, so it will be each of these targets has 13 HP.
And then so I think reward can also change based on the number of people saved. Yeah. I'm sorry, Blue Box. I know it's mean, but the game is very skewed for the parties to be able to win every encounter very easily. So I want to give it, and like that's the thing is I don't think the party will lose this encounter. So it becomes more about damage mitigation.
Yeah, so they have to make choices about what they're going to be doing, who they're going to go after, all of that kind of stuff. And I love that. I love that. It will be I don't feel like this will be a difficult encounter for them. It will be a difficult encounter for them to get everything done.
Yeah. And I think that's also the nature of Amok.
Yeah. The attackers are targeting the food seller, wandering priest, blacksmith, and the alchemist. Each of these targets is 13 hit points. Depending on how each of them, of how many survive the encounter, depending on how many survive the encounter, the players will have access to different rewards. Right here is where I'm going to there. All right. Let's see. If all 4 survive, then it will be so in a perfect world, let's see, very food seller offers very nutritious food to the hermitage. Oh, I think that comes with like there will be like some sort of maybe an uncommon magic item that the hermitage will offer one of them, as a reward for that. I think so that they can.
And I think Clunch just brought up an excellent point. I think the special citizens should have death saves. That way, and then as Blue Box puts up, that way they can still go down in 1 hit, but you can still save them. And that if someone is focusing playing healer or support, then they'll be reward in popping them back up.
I'm gonna say each citizen, each target will also have 2 death saves instead of 3.
Oh, yeah, that's good. And because exactly, Blue Box Madman, we love when party burns their spell slots.
Absolutely. War of attrition, who's gonna win? Go to the hermitage. With this outcome, the hermitage will offer the party. What kind of sort of uncommon item do you think?
Well, let's pull up Don John. Let's look through the list of magic items.
Magic items from you? Oh, it's from Don John.
From Don John, not John John.
I was like,
so here's
your magic items. Fabulous.
No. People gotta pay for mine. Let's see, because I want it to be one of the ones that the party can share, not one that goes to an individual person, right? In this case. And so, like, I saw the try not to fish command and was like, oh, there's another Hangtua legend around flying fish, but not today. Let's not do that one.
Not today, Aquaman.
I mean, that one involves, like, you know, I don't think it's the right story to tell today, given some of the circumstances that are going on in the world. You know what I mean? For lack of a trigger warning.
Right. All right.
Yeah,
So,
I think it should maybe a consumable, like one of the potions.
okay.
Or
Well, I'd like to stay away from potions because we can do that with the alchemist.
oh, that's fair. That's fair. So then, because again, I don't want it to be something that just one person in the group is wielding. I think that would be unfair.
Well, something that is incredibly useful to any party is a bag of holding.
A bag of holding, perfect. We love a bag of holding.
Party, a bag of holding.
Yeah, and let's put a pin in that just in case we get further on and we think, oh, this would be a great item once we've built further.
Fabulous. All right, so the wandering priest in the perfect situation will offer them healing, and I'm thinking like maybe like a scroll of cure wounds.
Sure, scroll of cure wounds, or like one of the periapts, I think.
Ooh.
So I feel like we don't see those enough, right? Like a periapt of wound closure or a periapt of, I think health
of wound closure is super powerful, isn't it?
It is, because it just means you automatically stabilize when you go down. Yeah. I believe.
How many times does that trigger? Is it just once per day?
In addition, whenever you roll a hit die. No, it's just always.
Oh, you just can't. Oh my God.
So you can be attacked past your maximum hit point, and someone can attack you multiple times and make you fail death saves. It's not a problem. Yeah. Like there's still ways to die, just you don't die via death saves. Yeah. Whereas the periapt of health, it makes you immune to disease.
Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that one.
And a periapt of health. Let's see. Blacksmith will offer will sell the party any weapons and will offer 1+1 weapon to the party. Ooh, we'll offer a +1 Chris.
Yeah, there you go, dagger. And then also, in the true Malaysian fashion, I wonder if he shouldn't give anything away, but just give them a discount. And question from Cotton Candy Unicorn 83. Semi-related question. When y'all are writing one-shot or continuing adventures, do you have templates that you've created to start with, or do y'all just start from a completely blank page? I don't speak for Kyle, but I start with blank page. There is something spiritual about the infinite possibility, and then something I love about the brutality of putting down the first word, because that's right. And Bogart for you, right, Kyle? Taking our theater training in here. Whatever you begin with is an act of brutality because you kill so many other possibilities, and so I love that approach to writing.
Absolutely. Now I will start, so we do have this outline, but it literally is just name, introduction, background. It's all the things that we will need to fill out in order for this to be a thing. So there's no actual concept for it. It's one of the reasons that we start the stream with talking about whatever the story is that is being spoken about, so that the two people who are sharing this collaborative process can really sort of dig in. What's interesting to me, what's interesting to you, what are the concepts that we really want to hit on, and then actually utilizing the space to generate something beautiful, by the end of it. All right, so Chris to the party for the discount, and Alchemist will sell any common potions to the party and will give a discount on what's a cool potion that we don't see often enough.
Yeah, what are cool potions? Let's look at the list of thank you, Don John. Let's look at the it's my favorite because it rhymes with my name. Let's potion of growth. Yeah, let's have giant people running around. I mean, I love the potion of poison because I'm a dick. But
you are a mean DM. I mean, you're almost like, I feel like we're sort of in the same neighborhood of brutal when it comes to being a DM.
It's like brutal out of love. You know what would be really great? Potion of fire breath.
I love that. Yes, absolutely. Okay. Discount on a potion of fire breath. All right, fabulous. Then if only 3 survive.
Oh, Bowley, I love the oil of slipperiness. That's fun.
Right. Food seller offers basic foodstuffs to the party. And I'm going to say, if all 4 don't survive, you don't get any of the fun stuff.
Yeah,
like
agreed.
It's just sort of basic. Priest will heal party wounds. Blacksmith will offer weapons for sale, and alchemist will offer common, I'm just going to say just common potions for sale.
Yeah, which I think the common potions are potion of healing and potion of climbing, I think.
Yeah, some basic, some very basic stuff.
Yeah.
If only 2 survive, food, only basic rations. Players are punished with extra chores when they return to hermitage. Priest runs for safety, leaving the party to heal themselves. Blacksmith will offer only daggers for sale. And alchemist will offer a single potion of healing for sale. And then if 1 or 0 survives, the party gets nothing at all. And they must report the disaster to the hermitage.
Yeah, Bully and Cotton Candy Unicorn. I always have like a little itch with a filter of love because I feel like it's so open to potential abuses that I am not particularly fond of. So I don't give it out as a thing, not because I don't trust my players, but because I just want to remove that circumstance. You know.
Yeah.
It can get a little icky if we're not careful with it. So when I really, really trust certain players, I will give it to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and for me, the thing too is that there is, until you've been playing with somebody for a really long time, it can be very difficult to judge where one person's boundary is and where another person's boundary is.
Yeah.
So, and if those are asymmetrical, then that is just asking for trouble, you know?
Yeah. And so it's a matter, for me, it's just a matter of like making sure the party comp is good and balanced, and I trust them enough and they trust me enough to have a filter of love in play. Because I've been in games where it's used in icky ways and I feel some kind of way about it.
No. Yeah, we try to stay away from rapey situations whenever possible.
Yeah.
But
I've seen some really cool uses of it. So like,
absolutely.
So like, yeah. Oh, the snake oil for sale, pretending it's a potion of healing. Oh, that's so perfect. That's very Malaysian too. Like,
Oh my God.
we
If they
love
only
our
really do
we love
survive
our snake oil.
of healing for sale, but the potion is snake oil and doesn't actually work. I mean, I so want that in the final battle where somebody has this potion, they're like, I'm about to die. And like,
They toss you.
just nothing.
Yep. You heal for nothing. You drank snake oil. Tough took us. See you in the afterlife.
Right? You're done. There's okay, so I feel like that is a super solid chapter 1. Like
Yeah.
it is I think it's a fun encounter with cool rewards, all of that kind of stuff. Is there anything that you want to add to it in order to yes, there is something that I want to add to it.
What do you
Damn
want
it.
to add to it?
I want to add if they if any of the citizens amok remain after the battle, they can be interrogated about their motivation.
Yep, and then we can talk about the Sultan.
Is that spelled like Sultan?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Sultan. So if the citizens amok remain after the battle, they can be interrogated about their motivation. The Sultan apparently has been failing to deliver food to subjects who are not tied to the military, or is Malaysia similar to China in that it's got like a giant bureaucracy, like their nobility was in fact the bureaucracy, or is it sort of a different style?
I wouldn't say it's similar to China, but it is very much like there's the nobility, the ruling class, and then the working class. So like ruling class, working class, it is.
But what I'm asking is the nobility more of like a feudal situation where it's like the nobility just stands alone and they are in charge of like creating the armies, or are they specifically tied to the bureaucracy of the kingdom? And that's where
it's more feudal in this way. Okay. So like the nobility does have a lot of the responsibilities of governance, and so the court, etc., and the general. So like these Laxmana were kind of like we're generals, but we're leaders in the court as well. It's like,
all right. There's those who are should we call them the nobility, or is
let's
there a
better do it for this? Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Let me see. Subjects. The Sultan apparently has been failing to deliver food to subjects who are not tied to the military or the nobility. Many people in the kingdom are rebelling because they fear starvation. How about that? I feel like that is simple enough motivation, but also tells.
But it's sows the seeds of maybe the Sultan is not the best kind of guy.
Right. So we're good there. All right, cool. Now, so chapter 2. So at the end of chapter 1, regardless of how the encounter plays out, the players should level their characters from level 3 to level 4.
Oh yeah, and just following up with Cotton Candy Unicorn, like, yeah, I agree, 100% agree, thank you.
Let me see. Yes, absolutely. Here we go. All right, cool. All right. There is. All right, here we go. Now we are level 4 and chapter 2. Should we just do a straight up time jump?
I mean, it doesn't have to be a big one, but like, so I think, yeah, there should be a time jump, but this should, I think, begin with Dua's execution, right?
Okay, all right. So this is after. Okay, so well, that's interesting.
Or do we want to not time jump? I can't actually tell.
No. It's fine. What I was thinking is that like chapter 2 would have been like their time in the military, and there would be, you know, like this would be sort of when you develop the relationship between Tua and Jabat.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
There's but I feel like ooh, the second act could be a little bit of a mystery where it's like the players are with Jabat, right? And they hear that Tua is going to be executed. So the players go to help Tua, but they get there too late.
Right, and Tua is executed.
Yeah, and they're the ones that gain the Chris dagger.
Okay.
And at that, let's think about this. So if we want the third chapter to be the battle between the two that everyone's getting in the middle of, then we need to create a situation where they have an attachment to both, right?
Yeah, then my other question is, do we want this to be the like legendary Chris, the Chris Tamingsari, or
I would love to create a stat block for that. You know.
All right, then let's do the Tamingsari.
Okay. First though, because we only have an hour left.
Right.
Get to the actual adventure.
Great, let's do it. Yeah, the adventure. So they will get Hung Tua's like legendary Tamingsari, which means, I believe, when translating right, like flower shield.
Oh, that's gorgeous. All right. All right. So first, what I'd like to do is let's figure out a way to create that bond with Jabat first. What sort of situation do you think? What if it's a shared meal that they're having where we could create like a little DM monologue where Jabat talks about like one of his adventures with Tua, and then everybody else has to share some sort of adventure around the table that they've had with somebody else at the table. I think that would be a fun way to do like relationship building, you know?
Yeah, that would be really fun.
Okay, so chapter 2.
Yeah, so it's a storytelling challenge.
Yeah. We haven't done one of those yet, but in our magnificent mythologies. And where are we at? Okay, so we are almost at 2 hours right now. So what I'm going to say is, first off, thank you everybody for being here. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break.
I need more coffee.
A little, get some caffeine, do a little bio break, all of that good stuff. Please look at our About page where you can find the links to all of our various sponsors, including Hero Forge, who is actually sponsoring all of the art for this adventure. We are doing a fundraiser starting today, and tomorrow we're going to be doing 12 hours of streaming tomorrow. I am going to be DMing for a very long time tomorrow.
It's true. It's so long.
To generate funds to continue to produce the magnificent mythologies. We do these fundraisers once a month to actually make sure that we can pay the artists, who are creating the art for these, and pay the people that are doing the layout and the legal things for these, so that the creators of color that we bring on, it is no cost at all to them, and they have a fabulous thing at the end of it that they can use as a saleable item. So please feel free to donate. And our goal is $1,200 this month. Anything we get above and beyond that is going to be going to the victims of the Uvalde massacre. So take 5 minutes, look at fabulous things, and we will be back in just a moment. Hello again. First of all, I would like to say thank you very much to Phantom for your $25 donation while we were on break. That's amazing. You are a glorious person. And I can't even tell you how much it means that we have such an amazingly supportive community. It's incredible to me all the time. I think everybody's enjoying me being a monster to you. I think that's why they showed up. And I think that you should just, be okay with that.
I don't want to be okay with it. Someone come rescue me.
Who is in charge of me? Do something about this.
Yeah, oh my God. Who put us in charge, Kyle? Who let us? I thought this was a good idea.
You know what? You know what? They've got a lot to answer for. Okay. I started with the party jumps forward in time. The DM should read or paraphrase the following. This should be explanation of the jump, right?
Right. So just a little box text.
Yeah, the brave warriors, along with Tua and Jabat, were celebrated for their many victories over the enemies of the Sultan. Through the years, their friendship has grown and flourished, as has their relationship to you all. Though Tua isn't present tonight, you celebrate your latest victory with Jabat. A sumptuous feast has been laid out. And as you, is this a chair civilization? Or is this a pillow civilization?
Pillow.
Okay. A sumptuous feast has been laid out, and as you recline on silk, satin, velvet,
cotton.
Oh, cotton. Okay.
Yeah.
What's velvet? Velvet's made of cotton, isn't it?
Is it? I don't actually know. Let's do some drama.
Velvet's a cotton product. Maybe it's a wool product, but I want to say it's cotton.
Velvet can be made initially from silk, but can also be made from cotton, linen, wool, mohair, and synthetic fibers.
Okay, fabulous. So it's more a weaving technique than anything. Recliner. Can we have some velvet pillows?
I mean, if we're playing fast and loose, let's go for it.
Well, I don't want to play too fast and loose.
I feel like no one is going to call us out on the dramaturgy of textiles in 15th century Malaysia. So I think we can say cotton. I feel like
that's your job, JoJo.
Do you want me to call you out on the precise dramaturgy of it?
That's why you're here.
I'm modern, and so I will.
Look, John, when you go back to the 15th century and you're having dinner, what kind of pillows are you using?
Yeah, when I go to the 15th century, I do every Tuesday. But no, this is also a good place to gently bring up an issue of colonization, right? Yes. So Malaysia is a heavily colonized country. We didn't even get independence until the 60s, the 1960s. And so a lot of our culture, not destroyed, but was actually suppressed by colonizers. And so one of the things that I think that we have found as FIG in terms of finding people for the foundation, for the Magnificent Mythologies, is that there's a lot of BIPOC creators who are like, ooh, I don't feel close enough to my culture to be able to speak as an expert on it. Especially because of the way that we have to sort of give up a lot of our sense of cultural identity to blend into American society. You know, so I think that's a little bit of it as well. Just wanted to use that little platform there.
Absolutely, yes. That is why we are here. There is, and the one of the things that I have, uh, that I feel like is important in these situations is to um, reward the fact that people are looking into their own culture again, even if they don't have that feeling of true connection. Because I feel like that's just another way that we decolonize, is making sure that the people who potentially could be experts on this and have some experience in that culture do become experts.
It allows you to deepen your connection to one's cultural identity, which is really, really cool. And I think this is also an aspect of cultural exchange that I appreciate.
Yeah, 100%. There's I want to thank -2 Charisma for resubscribing. You're fabulous. Oh. They've been subscribed for 9 months.
Man.
This is your baby day.
Yeah.
There is, thank you so much. -2 Charisma, you're fabulous. I love it. There is, we've got, we really do just have such an awesome community here. It's just, makes me so happy.
I see a couple people tried to rescue me from you, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's never gonna happen.
Oh, no.
You can't defeat me.
Iron beard, iron clutches.
We definitely, I feel like we need to have like a stream where we see who can be more brutal to the party.
Oh like, my God, that poor party. That poor party. I feel bad for that. So if you're a masochist, you can run the gauntlet of a John session that leads directly into a Kyle session with no long rest.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you like dying?
I feel like that would actually be a fabulous like Halloween game where it's just like how many times like we are going to like throw things at you that are going to kill you. Like, ooh, it could be a horror Groundhog Day where you have to keep going through the same gauntlet and figure out how to kill these things.
God, that's Elden Ring, first of all. And yeah, bring 10 characters to the session. Yeah, you better have 10 backup characters because
absolutely.
You saw how I build NPCs, so it's like, oh yeah, let's make sure they have just enough hit points so that they could get one shot. You know, and off of 2d6, that's what, like a 11.3% chance that they'll get one shot. So don't quote me on the math. I pulled that number out of my butt. I'm not a math Asian, I promise. I'm a violin Asian. No, we have several subclasses, all right? You're a math Asian, a music Asian, specifically a violin and piano Asian.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Wait, does that make me, is there, wait, so how many freaking subclasses do white people have now?
Well, that there is a diaspora of white folks, I think. So, like, are you from mining country? Are you MAGA hat toting gun toter? Or I don't know. That you don't have as many like stereotypes because of the sort of predominance in the culture.
Yeah, absolutely.
White people can be anything. Asians have to be within very specific boxes.
Oh God, are we the stupid friggin' like human? So we would be the humans. Just you get a couple bonuses, whatever you want, man. You can just have whatever you want.
You can just start with whatever feat you want.
I did not realize that is like that's legitimately like the biggest white freaking privilege is the human race in D&D. It's just like, yeah, you get what you want. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Also, correct, Lando. I am not a reading Asian. I don't do that. I don't do readings. We've discussed.
That's right. Terrible people. We're all terrible people.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for joining us for our terrible person stream. All right, fabulous. So we've got Sumptuous Feast has been laid out. Didn't this all start because of fucking pillows?
It did start because of pillows, and I do maintain that I think Boley would be a fantastic dramaturge.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Boley in chat just always has the answer for you.
Yeah, and like that's the thing is I don't care if it's just like, oh, I Googled it. Like still that's a skill these
Yeah,
days.
yes, it is.
Yeah,
Being able to pull that information.
I work with some boomers who don't know how to do that. So, you know, you got this.
Yeah. All right, assumption
Oh.
space has been laid out. And as you recline on hand woven, beautiful pillows depicting scenes of your glory, Jabbat begins to reminisce about his days with Tua. This one, I think I might ask you for a little extra time sometime, like maybe next week or the week after, to actually write speech, to like create some emotional, like to really, I really want to work on that so that this is the thing that sets up this whole act emotionally. So I'm gonna skip it for now, but it talks about his friend. Jabbat talks about Tua. Right, that is. And I think that is enough for that. Now, I'm going to give it a little space. The party should be encouraged to tell each member of the party, each individual member of the party should be encouraged to tell a story about a wondrous victory that they experienced with another party member present. Allow for enough time. Allow for now. Encourage storytelling that will help to bond the players to both Jabbat and Tua. I feel like
I think that's broad enough that you can let people do whatever. But yeah, as long as there's just like story and can be improvised, so I appreciate it.
And let's see, when the party has finished telling their stories, a messenger will appear. This messenger will be out of breath, as though they have run a long distance. They will reveal to everyone present that Tua is scheduled to be executed by the Sultan. And the Sultan was executed by the Sultan. What do we want the timeline to be? Like at dawn the next day or something like that, so that there's like a rush to get there?
Why don't we say immediately? That's why the messenger is breathless.
Ah, okay.
We love the drama of immediacy, right?
Absolutely. There's to be executed by the Sultan immediately. Tua is being led to the. How were executions typically done in 15th century Malaysia?
I don't know. Let me do a quick Google search and see if I can find out more about 15th century Malaysia. Bully, you got this?
Bali. Thank you for the bits, Cotton Candy. You are fabulous.
Yeah, no, there's just a lot of a lot of notes on how the death penalty is still active there. So I don't know. Let's say beheading.
Yeah, beheading. All right, fabulous. There is, let's see, Tua is being led to the palace where to be beheaded. That's where to be beheaded. Jabat will fly into a rage and immediately run out of the room. Unbeknownst to the party, he is running to the palace to kill the Sultan for putting his friend to death. When the party arrives in the square, neither Tua or Jabat is present. The executioner, upon seeing the party, will recognize them as friends and boon companions. I love that phrase.
Boon companions. Boon.
The executioner will present the party with, and will you put in the name of that? I have no idea how to spell
that. The name of who?
The Chris.
Sading. Did I write that right? Sadi. Taming Sadi. There we go. What did I do? I wrote it backwards. Taming Sadi. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
My brain exploded for a second because I just wrote it down here as I'm working on the stat block for it because you're working and so my brain's like, John, you should be working too.
Why aren't you working, John? Yeah. Why are you so lazy?
I don't know. See, I'm lazy because Kyle's mean to me and Kyle's mean to me because I'm lazy. It's an actual Ouroboros of viciousness.
John tries to ruin my life because I'm mean to him, and I'm mean to him because he tries to ruin my life.
Correction, I try to ruin Kyle's life for funsies.
All fun and games, so somebody gets an eye poked out, and then it's just fun.
Yeah. Then it's just games.
That's right. Oh my God. All right, let me see. All right, we've got half an hour left and we still have another chapter to get through. Okay, we can do this. We can do it.
We can do it.
All right. So, she's at the party with the Tommy. Sorry. Tommy, sorry. And then after this encounter, a ruckus is heard from the palace. The party sees Jabat tearing through the nobles and servants of the Sultan, leaving a bloody mess in his wake. Is that appropriate? Like, was it he was like just murdering everyone in the palace, right?
Everyone and so that's amok, it's indiscriminate. Yeah, and so that's why, again, we draw back to the theme of like duty versus passion. Because this is clearly passion.
And let's see, I want to do another box. for Jabat. This will be, hold on. Read or paraphrase the following. You monster. You.
Oh, would you like a? I believe there's a very famous quote.
Ooh.
Yes. It even kind of rhymes. If I'm translating, it's a Raja Adil Raja Disamba Raja Zalim Raja Disanga. A fair king is a king saluted, and a tyrant is a king disputed.
Fair king is a king. What was it? Saluted?
Saluted, and a tyrant is a king disputed.
A king disputed. Your tyranny has robbed me of ones of the great. And should we say beautiful? Like, should we make that sort of indication here? Is that a bit too much?
What if we said something like radiant? That way we disambiguate it just a little bit further.
Rob me of the great and radiant Tua. You have robbed. You have stolen the futures from your people. You have summoned the basest rages and jealousies to mirror your own foul heart. Some of the basest rages and jealousies in your people to mirror your own foul heart. Mm-hmm. And now I shall tear that beating heart, that bile spewing heart from your chest. How's that?
Yeah, that works for me. Maybe my minor artistic tweak would be change beating to wretched.
Let's see. There is some of the basis. There's your own fell heart. I shall tear the. Where's the beating?
Oh, I think originally you said beating. Maybe you didn't write it. Never mind.
Oh yeah, now it is. I shall tear that bile spewing heart from your chest.
Better. Yeah.
Okay. Fabulous. All right, cool. I feel like that's a cute little thing to get everybody prepared for this. You know?
Yeah. And so in the legend, in the person who was supposed to execute Dua but secretly didn't, was like, hey, by the way, I didn't do it. And the Sultan was like, hey, get him here because he's the only one who can stop Jabat. And so I'll grant him a full pardon.
Okay.
But
right.
we don't have to follow that precisely because it's an adaptation.
Yeah, I think that it's not, I think we might not have the time for that in a one shot. I feel like if instead of telling the Sultan, the person tells the party, and then the party has to go and get.
Yeah, go get Dua. All right, perfect.
I think that should, if that works.
Let's do that.
All right, let's see. The executioner after seeing Jabat's rage, will alert the party to the fact that they didn't actually kill Tua. They helped him escape so that he could live. Why did the executioner do that?
Why did the executioner do that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Because in this case, it was like, holy shit, there's so many people dying. But I think I remember the stories I heard as a child where it's like he was like, this isn't just, it isn't right, therefore I'm not going to follow through with it. And Tua was like, no, you have to kill me though. Like, because again, like one of the defining things about Tua, I think in my head, is that he is always like super lawful. So he's like, the king says I need to die, like you need to kill me. And the executioner was like, nah, we need you. And so I think sometimes there's just the again, I think Tua hits on one of my favorite tropes of the honor before reason.
Yeah, absolutely. They helped him escape because they couldn't, in good conscience, kill an innocent man at the whim of the Sultan.
Right.
Okay, there we go. So we've got that.
So the party now has to go get Tua, because now they know he's alive.
Must retrieve. That's not how you spell that at all. Retrieve Tua from the let's say from the in a Malaysian town. Where would somebody who was trying to escape a town unnoticed go?
I mean, I feel like that's anywhere. Like it depends, because if we're in like a capital where the Sultan is, I would say probably like a tavern, like a seaside tavern, right? Like that would be like a kopitiam, I think would be the word we're looking for.
Party must retrieve Tua from a dockside tavern as he attempts to gain passage on a ship away from the kingdom. Is that something Tua would do, or is that he wouldn't try to escape, would he?
No, I think he wouldn't try to escape. I think he would be torn between his duty at this point, right?
So as he grapples with the choice between his duty to the Sultan and his desire for between oh God, I'm losing my words now. Between honoring the Sultan's desire to end his life and his desire to continue serving the Sultan. I feel like that for a super lawful character is really the crux of the issue.
Yeah.
Wants to continue serving the Sultan, but the Sultan wants him dead. You know, so which do you do? Do you allow yourself to die, or do you go against that one law so that you can enforce many more?
Right, the crux of the lawful character.
The party will only have to reveal the rampage of Jabat in order to convince Tua to come to stop the bloodshed. I think if we cage it, if we put it in terms of that, it's not going to be to specifically save the Sultan. It is to stop the party, because the party might understand that lawful motivation.
Right.
There is, but to stop the bloodshed is absolutely come to stop the bloodshed. All right. I feel like that is a solid second act where you have done the party, you have like shared some fabulous times with each other, told each other some great stories. Then there is some drama and things get real bad and then they get worse. And then
they get worse. And then now Act 3 is going with Dua to the palace.
I think we should end Act 2 because for me, I always think about it. It's like, when are you going to take a break?
Oh, yeah.
So I think we should end it with them getting to the palace, and then we will, like, that'll be the sort of cliffhanger at the end of Act 2. And then when they get there, then Tua reveals that he feels like he needs to kill Jabba to save the Sultan. With Tua in tow, the party will head to the palace. Jabbat has made his way to the throne room and is about to murder the Sultan. Fabulous. All right, cool. So that is, I feel like we've got a super solid Act 1. Let me see, there will be, oh, and the party will level up to level 5. For the final confrontation. All right, cool. I actually think that's fun, like leveling up in the middle of the adventure. You know,
right.
Like this is a one shot where you show the progression here, and it's fun. This is because I know that, like, for me, at least, when somebody says you get to level up, that's such a reward in and of itself. You know, ooh, I get the new ability now. I get the cool thing now.
Right. And over the course of the one shot, that should be good. And then, you know, this will allow people to do second attacks and stuff like that, or have third level spells.
Yeah.
I can swing twice.
There is, let's see, love the passion, fabulous. Oh, the ending is seething with anger. Yes, it is. It's now, all right. We are setting up the final fight. So the things that are going to be important here when it comes to the writing are going to be Tua's speech at the beginning, and all right, so I think that, and then and the fact that the party is going to have to, like, figure out what to do. Who are Huang and Jabbat, or Tua and Jabbat, who are Tua and Jabbat going to actually go after? Is it just going to be each other, or are they going to go after the party? Are they going to go after, like, is Tua going to be trying to stop Jabbat from going after the Sultan? Like, what's...
I think that's what we want. I think Jabbat and Tua have to clash. I think that's the most interesting thing here, right? That because now it's not about the Sultan per se, it is about duty versus passion. And then I think the party has to choose either who they side with or how they circumnavigate the situation, right? If we have the golden ending being you convince the Sultan to call it off, because like that's kind of like the proto solution, right? Being like, Sultan, you can stop this by telling Tua not to fight. If you tell Tua to stand down, Jabbat stands down, right? And so then, or ostensibly, or like change the orders, and then But it's also like because we just gave them a level up and they want to flex their stuff, they might begin just jumping into the combat.
Absolutely. So let's start it. Like we would I want it, because I have a combat expert, a stage combat expert here. I want to do this like a stage combat. So I would like to start it with like some actual like sort of staged like a description that's happening that will be, so it'll be Tua's speech, which should be just like maybe 3 or 4 sentences, right? And then Jabat looks at Tua, sees that they're alive, doesn't care, goes after the Sultan, right?
Well, oh, nice.
Oh, yay, fabulous. Welcome, Alakazam. We love you, Alec. You're awesome. Hey, everybody, get you some dice. Hit exclamation point raffle to get some dice. We are also starting our fundraiser for the month of May a day early. We're going to be doing a 12-hour stream tomorrow, but please feel free to donate for the Foundation for Inclusivity in Gaming right now, and that will all go into the pot for today and tomorrow to pay for all of the magnificent mythologies and to make sure that creators of color are actually getting paid for the efforts that they are putting forth. So thank you. And all right, so my thought is he goes for the Sultan and then Tua stops him and throws him back. And then that's what creates the space for the combat to begin.
Right. I think there has to be the sense of betrayal as well for Jabat to get back into the passionate state, right? The rage, where it's like, I'm willing to not continue to go amok because you're alive. The whole reason I did was because I thought you were dead. But then when it's like you're alive and now we have to fight because you're following the orders of the man who tried to kill you, right? So then I think that's where that becomes.
Yes. Okay, so Tua's speech. I really want Radiant to be their word for each other.
Okay.
Oh, that's like just something like my radiant companion. You have done evil here this day. You serve the Sultan, yet you defile their home with violence and mayhem. I must stop you. I must stop you, for my duty comes before my heart or my very life.
Here for it.
This will end now. Jabat's response. I think that between those two, there should be a Tua will attack Jabat immediately. Then Jabat's response there is no heart. I'm gonna stop with my heart. There is no heart in your chest if, for it seems the Sultan has No, that's a little romance novel-y.
A little, but
I'm like, we don't need to do an Outlander.
we don't need to do Danielle Steele here.
His gleaming, shimmering sword came forth from its scabbard.
Not today.
You would strike me down.
I who fought for you.
You would strike me down. I who fought for you, fought beside you, fought beside you. Fought for you, fought beside you. You would sacrifice me on the. This is just my favorite phrase. I feel like I'm putting it in a lot of these bridges. You would sacrifice me on the altar of this tyrant's ego.
Mm.
On the altar of this tyrant's ego. I will not allow. I will stand down if you wipe the blood from, if you wipe my blood from your fist and where you shall never raise that, and swear that you shall never raise it in anger towards me again.
Do we want to skip the flavor text for now since we only have 8 minutes left?
Oh, yes. All right, fabulous. There is.
Yeah, so then I'm happy to put in a description of initial combat and then Sultan hint towards golden ending. Party must choose to support Shabat or Tua. Give a passive insight check on the Sultan, like I said, for hint towards golden ending.
I feel like there should be more than a passive insight check. I feel like it should be that there should be a couple of different checks that you can do. So I feel like history would be one. If you understand the nobility, if you understand their ties, then you would be able to, you could get that hint about the Sultan. The Sultan, all it takes is the Sultan saying stop. I do want Intua's response for that to be sort of hinted at, that it's like, you know, I will always do as the Sultan commands, you know, or I will always protect the Sultan as long as he requires, or something like that. We can figure that out later. A history check, an insight check, and I want one more check in their potential. That would be an intelligence check. That just will straight up be like, can you figure out how to can you, like, and that'll be sort of the weakest hint, but it would be like a hint to just like sort of like look to the Sultan, like, you know that there is something here about it.
Right. I wonder what check that is. Is that just a straight, is that perception actually? Investigation? No.
No, I feel like that might be I feel like it's straight up just an intelligence check. If you can remember the words that have been spoken by all of the parties or the actions or something like that, you know.
All right.
All right, fabulous. So, ending 1, Tua dies. I would like to say ending 1, either ending 1 or ending 2. Tua dies. Party has to give up. What was the name of the dagger?
The Taming Sari.
Has to give up. Where is it written down so I can copy it?
There you go. I got you, boo.
Fabulous. The Taming Sari. Party has to give up the Taming Sari for Tua's funeral rites. Jabat dies. Tua reclaims the Taming Sari, and peace reconciliation via the Sultan. The party gains the Taming Sari and is rewarded. What would be an appropriate reward for that?
For, I don't know, like maybe the party is promoted to Laxmanas themselves so they can serve at Tua's level.
What if the party, if each one of them is granted a mount?
Okay, there you go.
So that they can be so that they can be mounted warriors now for in the army. The party gains the Taming Sari and was rewarded with mounts from the royal stables. There we go. All right, so you get a fabulous legendary item, and you get mounts from the royal stables, and you go up 2 levels from this one adventure.
Yeah, there you go.
I feel like that's solid. All right, cool. Now, things that we need to talk about, John.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
A conversation, John.
About
what art you would like. So, what is this cover?
What is the cover? Did I send something already for this? I think I would just love to see Tua and Jabat back to back in fighting stances, right? And then maybe the Sultan over top of them.
Jabat back.
I think that's a pretty traditional like cover, you know, and sets up the duality, sets up that there's a third party involved. Could be fun.
Back fighting together. The Sultan rises.
And maybe the Taming Sari should be there as well in some form, because it's very recognizable with the very wavy blade of the Chris. Like I feel like that's been used a lot.
So
in like popular literature, so should be able to incorporate that somehow.
With the Taming Sari between them, the Sultan rises over them. All right, fabulous.
Yeah.
Now, the internal pieces. So we can do 2 internal pieces of art. What are the things that you would like? If we've got Tua, Jabat, and the Sultan and the Sari all on the cover, what would we like to put inside?
What would we like to put inside? I mean, I would love like 1 second, please. I would love, I don't know, maybe a scene of the Amok, if that's possible, you know, like just people raging through the streets would be one, if that's too big. If not, we could just go with like the Taming Sari would be great internally. Yeah, I don't know. What else do you think? What else do you think based on what we've talked about?
So the thing is that I like in situations like this to be able to create art for like the sort of extras that are going to be in the book. So I feel like the citizens running amok would definitely be something that could be done. I feel like maybe a hawk and tiger for the subclass for the monk.
Yeah, that would be really great.
Running amok. A hawk and tiger for the subclass. So the citizens running amok, and then a hawk and tiger for the subclass. And I will leave the art to do those things there.
Yeah.
I know that you must run away, but why don't you tell everybody in the chat where they can find you all over the fabulous intranets?
So again, you can find me at BurnJonJonBurn on Twitter and on Instagram. You can find me on multiple Discord servers. I'm usually floating around. You might see me as John or as Wednesday, depending on what server it is. But yeah, please say hi. Please check out this adventure. I'm so glad you were here to join us while we were building the bones of it.
Yay! Yes,
and
absolutely.
I'm also a board member for FIG, if that helps.
You are. John is an actual board member for FIG.
Yeah.
Now, John, whenever you need to leave, please feel free to hop off. Thank you for your time. We love you. You're amazing, and I'm super excited about this adventure. I think this is going to be really cool.
I'm glad. I'm excited. I'm excited to see it pop up on one of the charity streams.
Yay! I can't wait. Maybe in June.
Fingers crossed.
And now I think it's time for some fabulous dice. Everybody, please hit ! raffle so that you can win some delightful Phoenix dice. And while we are waiting for people to do that, please feel free to jump over into chat and to donate to the Foundation for Inclusivity in Gaming. This will go to streamers of color and artists of color that are helping us to create the actual magnificent mythologies that that are right this very moment. There are 3 of them that are available for purchase. Tomorrow there should be 3 more available for purchase, and then it will be every few weeks we will be releasing another one. So jump over to Drive Through RPG and find some magnificent mythologies just for you. We love that. And welcome, Tavernaut. Tavernaut is actually going to be doing a fundraiser for us next month. So that's fabulous. Oh, and we just got rated by Roll Together. Hi, Roll Together.
Hi.
I hope that you're fabulous. I hope that fabulous talk show is glorious today. Makes me very, very happy to see you here. We just created a fabulous one-shot adventure based on Malaysian mythology with John here, who is glorious.
Hi.
We will be creating art for this piece and doing the layout for this piece, and hopefully sometime in the next month it will be available for purchase on Drive Through RPG. So if you want to support artists of color and creators of color, please feel free to donate to the Foundation for Inclusivity in Gaming so that we can keep this fabulous stream going and actually support members of our community who are also being supportive of everyone around them. So yay, thank you very much. And hit !raffle right this second. Just do it. Do it! So that you can win some Phoenix dice. Phoenix dice for you. It will be glorious. And I just want to thank you one more time, John, for being here. You are glorious. You make me very happy. And
Yay.
I cannot wait to see all the fabulous things that people do with this adventure. And I also want to say thank you very much to our sponsor, Hero Forge, who has already helped to get to very solid footing with our fundraising 24 hours before we are jumping into our 12-hour stream tomorrow. Tomorrow's stream is 12 hours long. If you want to watch a human person have their brain melt over the course of 12 hours on stream, you should jump in and watch it happen to me.
Yeah, y'all, I love watching Kyle suffer.
Yeah. He does. He's a monster.
It's what they do.
He's a monster.
We love watch Kyle suffer.
Everyone's awful and I hate them.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to see who won the raffle, and then I'll hop off. I just want to see who won
Oh
the
yeah,
raffle.
let's see. I hope everybody has entered the
Did
fabulous
you raffle? Did you raffle?
Raffle. Who wants a raffle? Who's gonna win the raffle today? Silver Moon Bye!
Yay!
Moon. Please send me a message on Discord and I will connect you with the fabulous Phoenix Dice and we will get you some delightful dice just for you. And now, I think it is about time to go and raid someone delightful. I think, you know what, because I do like them a whole bunch. I think they've got a fabulous product. Let us go raid into World Anvil.
Ooh, all right.
Remember, when you raid from Plain Nerd Allies, we let them know what we're bringing to the potluck. I personally am going to be bringing a culturally inappropriate velvet pillow that I'm gonna bring.
All right, later, taters.
Mwah!
Mwah.